Hola, buenos días.
Buenas tardes, buenas noches.
This is Barb.
And this is Estella.
And welcome to
Cafecito.
And Crime. Hello, everyone. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. How are you doing today, Cisterna?
I am doing good. How are you doing today, sister?
So, you know I have to have a problem all the time. I decided the freaking coach from my daughter's dance team said that we needed to raise money. So we were like, what do we do? What do we do? So some other mom said, hey, we should make baskets and raffle the baskets. So then me and one of the other moms was like, oh, we can get together. I was like, look, I'm not making basket. I said I can buy something and put in the basket because I don't know how to bake. First they had said bake goods, all this other shit. So I was like, no, I'm not doing that. You know, I it's not that I don't want to, but it's just I do know how to bake. I just don't feel like anybody will like my baking. Anyway, point of my story is the lady was like, hey.
How long ago did you guys make this plan?
So this plan was made probably at the beginning of November. This was before Thanksgiving, right?
Okay.
So then everybody was like, oh, yeah, the baskets. And I'm like, oh, I have time. Okay. So I don't know if anybody knows this, but baskets are fucking expensive. So then I needed to stay under a budget of $20 plus buy the cocoa that I was going to put in the basket because we were going to do a cocoa bar basket, right? Okay. Así quedó. So then next thing you know, they're like, the baskets are due. And we need pictures of the baskets because the girls are going to have the tickets. They have to sell them.
Right.
And they need pictures so they can know what you're going to raffle, right? And I don't have a fucking basket. So I flipped out.
So whose problem was that? Is that a problem that you created?
Yes, but let me finish. Okay. So then I go to the store and I go to Target and I was like, I'm going to get
so-and-so, blah, blah, blah.
So-and-so baskets, right? I get 2 baskets. I'm like, okay, let me make sure that I get one that's within the budget, but I can still, that's okay.
Que le quepan las cosas and stuff.
Girl, the basket was like the size of my cat. Like it was the smallest fucking basket ever. So then I'm like, what the fuck am I going to do with this basket? So I try to put it together anyway. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the cocoa that was coming in was going to go in the basket is kind of big. So I'm like, well, I'll glue it to the side so that que se pare and it'll look kind of like it's like suspended there. It'll be cool. Whatever. Okay. So then everybody's sending pictures of the baskets and everybody's like, well, we're trying to sell the tickets and the tickets are going to be sold before the 18th, which is next week. And I haven't sent a picture of my basket. So today I flipped out and I was like, fuck. So I went to the Dollar Tree and I got the things, whatever I needed. Girl, as soon as before I called you today, this afternoon was probably like, 5 or whatever. Girl, the whole fucking side, the paper se cayó, everything fell apart. So I'm like, mind you, I'm like, fuck, what am I going to do now? This fucking basket's not going to work. So then yesterday, the mom that I had teamed up with tells me, oh, you should have told me that the basket wasn't big enough. She's like, because they have them at Hobby Lobby for $3. And I'm like, what? No, there's no way. So then I'm like, fuck. I was like, no, I'm going to make it work because I already bought this basket, right? Okay. Girl, todos los pinches bows que hay en el pinche Dollar Tree no me gustó ni uno.
Yeah.
So I was like, voy a hacer uno.
Yeah. And you did.
Because me gusta hacer difícil en mi vida, right? So next thing you know, I'm like, Estela, I will be right back. I went in there so fast. Finally, I found the basket it's not like a basket. It's casi como un carrier thingy. Y ya le puse todo.
No, it looks like a basket.
It looks like a basket.
It's a basket.
Tiene a handle.
Yeah.
So it's a basket. And then it matches it perfectly because the mom had bought. The thing is, the mom was like, hey, give me the stuff and the basket so I can put it together. Pero como yo no tenía la puta basket.
You're like, no, I got it.
I had to get it myself. So I was like, no, I got it.
So what did you learn here?
That I should have bought the basket when I said I was going to buy it instead of putting it in my cart and never buying it.
I'm surprised you didn't write it down in your calendar.
I did forget to write it down on my calendar. I know that there's moms out there, and if anybody that's listening will understand that they're in either some sort of fine arts like dance.
Yeah, especially
or
right now. It's like
singing
temporada, so.
Or literally like one of the dads yesterday was at a point where he's like, so I thought we were coming for choir, but this is dance. And the mom is like, no, it's because the choir's next week. You know, like we are so out of it that it's like, you know, the costume, the this, the that. And then on top of that,
you have to go to work. You have to go to work.
And you have to cook and you have to wash. And, you know, you try to take vacations and, you know, whatever it is. So, but yeah, we got the basket done though.
Yeah.
And the bowl.
And it's ready for the 18th.
It's ready for the 18th. I'm going to send the picture tonight before I go to bed.
I hope to win. Where do I buy the tickets?
You buy them with me.
Okay.
I hope you do win because they have like a whole bunch of different baskets. But
wait, can I enter for all the baskets or just have to be her basket?
No,
like
you
yours?
pick a basket.
Oh.
Yeah, you pick a basket.
Can I pick all the baskets?
Yeah, you can pick all the baskets if you buy a ticket for all the baskets.
Yeah, I'll buy a ticket for all the baskets.
Yeah. So Estela, for everybody out there, if y'all don't know this, Estela wins all the fucking shit. All the time.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Just that one time that it was a lot of shit.
No. But the time before that, you won alcohol. The time before that, you won. No, she does win shit because our family members have been like trying to raise money for whatever it is, and they're like, Estela, you want to buy a ticket? Estela's like, yeah, I'll buy a ticket. And she'll buy like one random ass, and and she's like, I don't care, whatever number, and then she'll win all the fucking prizes.
And I'm not even there.
And I'm like, okay, so they're gonna have a chamoy basket.
Ooh,
yeah.
Oh, I think I like that one.
They're gonna have a chamoy basket. They're gonna have a cocoa, like a cocoa bar, which is what we have. And then they're gonna have, but another mom said that another lady like bought a whole like cheesecake, like a turtle cheesecake. Yeah, I think another lady has some more basket. Like, there's a whole bunch of baskets. But I know that people out there can understand where I'm coming from. Like, you try to make sure that they're involved, but then you end up doing everything. And it's like, fuck. Like, straight up. We did go on a vacation this last few days ago.
Last weekend.
Dude, it's almost a fucking weekend again.
Yeah.
Like, literally, it was going to be a week on Friday that we left.
Yeah.
And we went to where Estela's from. And because she's a hoe. And it was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun.
I mean, it was just me and my sister-in-laws. And I'm so lucky. And I told them that when we were over there. I was like, I'm so lucky that I have you guys because... Literally,
we're really funny.
We're really hilarious. Not only that, but we're at a point where, like, you know.
And then all the kids were like, Mom, why are you leaving us?
Yeah, like, why are you leaving? Where are you going?
When are you coming back? Are you guys done yet?
Yeah. Why are you not here? And it's like, no. And then.
Bye.
Leave me alone. But we had a good time and we ate and we drank.
We saw snow.
And we saw snow. And we saw deer.
We were out in the nature.
We literally were in the fucking mountains. By a lake. And not only that, pero it was like un poquito más y ya estábamos en pinche Canadá and shit.
2 hours away from the border,
pero
I think.
It was beautiful. Y luego yo me puse, porque me puse a platicar con el señor en el pinche airplane. And that's how we found out other stuff.
Yeah.
And then, but I did want to bring this up. The reason that I brought that up, that we went out on vacation, not really vacation, but a little trip, a getaway. Anyway, was because of all of the little coffee shops that we saw.
Yeah,
I wanted to tell our listeners about that because
there was a lot of ¿cómo se dice?
Like little coffee shops.
There wasn't like chains. It's just like mom and pop's coffee shop.
Yeah, there was like in that area that we were at. I don't know if it's just there or if it's all over Idaho or Washington because we were in between. Pero there was so many of them, and there were all the coffee and all the food that we ate there was amazing.
Yeah, it was really good.
There was not one place that I could say, ew, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
We ate this place that had it was like a Thunder, or what was it? The espresso place? What was it called? I don't know what the fuck it was called, but it had a Thunderbolt on it. That's all I remember. But it was so fucking good. The coffee was amazing.
Yeah.
And then they had all of like the specialty coffee. So if y'all can go on a trip with your sister-in-laws, please do, because it was fun.
If they're funny. If not, then refrain.
I think we think we're funny, but maybe other people might not think the same way.
Yeah, but we're funny between us, so that's all that matters.
I laugh at you.
I laugh at y'all.
Yeah.
I have a video that I keep on laughing at, so.
Oh my God. How many times have you watched it today?
Actually, 0, but I think about it, you know? I think about rewinding it and just watching it.
That is ridiculous.
Whenever I'm sad, I'm just going to watch.
No, you know what I have? Like one of the last pictures that you sent me was a picture of where we were putting on masks.
Yeah.
And I look like Leatherface.
Yeah.
Bro, like every time I see it, I crack up.
Yeah. That was funny.
But anyhow, Estela is going to be bringing what today?
We are going to talk about the case of Aileen Seiden. So for today's case, we are going to Apalachicola, Florida.
Say that 3 times.
Apalachicola, Apalachicola, Apalachicola.
Like, I apologize.
Apalachicola.
Not the cola.
Apalachicola,
No, that's
Chicola.
enough. Anywhere. So if you would like to come with us to Apalachicola, Florida, go ahead and grab your cafecitos.
And let's get started. Now, the fun, random, interesting fact about Apalachicola is that the name or the word is a Native American word that it's interpreted as a ridge of the earth produced by sweeping the ground in preparation for a peaceful fire or a council. So the word over time has been translated to other meanings, and I think more recently it is known as a land of friendly people.
How does that work? Like, how do people just start retranslating words? That's weird,
I'm
right?
not sure. But it's a Native American word, so I don't know if maybe it has a meaning between them. Maybe it's like
I think that is so amazing, and I'm glad that it still has the Native American name used. But I mean, I just feel like, is it something maybe in a language that is already lost or something, and they have to you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, it's weird, but yeah.
Also, the city of Apalachicola is one of Florida's most historic cities, and it's also the largest producer of oysters.
Oysters. Do you like oysters?
No.
I like fried. I'll eat them fried.
Yeah, I'll try them fried, but
that's
I'm not
about
raw.
it.
No.
And I can't do the raw. I mean,
I can't.
We're not going to talk about that porque ya me está dando asco.
Yeah, okay. Now, there isn't much information that I could find on Aileen from when she was a child.
¿Cómo se apellida?
Seiden, Seiden.
Like Poseidon, pero Seiden.
I guess.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. What we do know is that at the time of her death, she was 31. So she must have been born around late 1980s, 1987, por ahí. Her parents were Martha and Frank Seiden.
Oh, she was 31. She's my age.
And Frank was a successful furniture manufacturer. She also had an older sister. Her name is Francesca, who was about 7 years older than her. And the Seiden family suffered a major loss when Martha passed away from cancer.
Oh, was it her mom?
So mama, yeah. The family, at the time, Aileen was 9. And her sister, and she was in the 4th grade. Yeah, su hermana Francesca was 16, and she was in high school. So according to Francesca, later, she does go on to say that they never really talked about their mom's passing. They just kind of went about their lives. Tragically, 6 years later, after the loss of their mother, their father, Frank, who Aileen was really close to, ended up passing away suddenly from heart failure, or I believe he ended up having a heart attack.
That's horrible.
So because of that meant that at the age of 22, Francesca became Aileen's legal guardian. Like, she signed the paperwork and everything.
At 16?
22.
22. Okay.
And then su hermana, Aileen, was 14.
I saw, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I was just thinking about this. I saw a young lady that is on TikTok que she's like in her 30s. Young 30s. Y luego su mamá se murió de cáncer. Y su little sister, she's like 7 or 8, and she takes care of her. And they have the best relationship. It's so cute.
There's a really big age gap. So that's like,
And so she's like, and then she was crying because she said, okay, she just wanted her mom to be happy of the way that she was raising her sister. And like, I was just like, oh my God, that is the sweetest thing ever. So I think that is so cool that somebody that's 22 is going to take on the responsibility of a 14-year-old. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then Francesca was in college herself. So she was taking care of a 14-year-old, going to school, taking care of Aileen and working because she had to work.
And was she married or no? Estaba sola.
Now, since things had happened so fast and there was a lot going on, much like with their mother's death, they didn't really have a chance to mourn their dad.
Yeah.
And they didn't deal with the feelings. And I don't know if maybe it comes up later on.
Maybe. Yeah.
So 7 years later, Francesca, who was an artist, moved out to Los Angeles. Y se fue sola. Y by this point, Aileen was in her early 20s. So she stayed back in Miami. I believe that's where they were from. According to a really good friend of Aileen, who there is a 48 hours episode on Aileen about her case. And sale su friend, but she wants to be known as Allie. That's her real name. So that's what we'll call her. So a real good friend of Aileen se llama Allie. And she just remembered Aileen as just very fiercely independent, and she knew that she was going to make it on her own, and she was very determined. So at the time, Aileen had a good job as a property manager. She was making good money, and she was living in a good place. She had like a really nice apartment. Now, in 2016, Aileen made a trip to LA to visit Francesca. And it was after her return back home from that trip that things began to go south for Aileen. After she returned back home to Miami, she ended up reconnecting with a man named Zachary Abell, and we'll call him Zach, whom she had known since they were teenagers. I believe they met in high school, and at the time, and even now, he didn't have like the best reputation. So Aileen como que no estaba muy segura de él. But years later, they actually ended up dating.
Okay.
So I'm assuming they ended up, after they started dating, they went their separate ways and then reconnected back in 2016, like I just said. And I believe from there on out, they started dating and then being off and on and stuff like that. Now we're going to jump to April 23rd, 2018. In the small coastal town of Apalachicola, Florida, who was also known as the Forgotten Coast, a couple was on their way to a fishing pond when they stumbled upon the deceased body of a female.
Oh, wow.
The police were contacted and they made their way to off Highway 98 where the body was.
I wonder, like, what goes through the people's mind? Like, is that a dead body? Do you get close enough to know that it's dead, a dead body? You know what I mean? Like,
I would. I mean, I would be scared, but I would.
Yeah, because you need to make sure.
Well,
but you're not going to just call the cops and be like, I
could.
think.
Well, yeah, you could.
But do you think the cops will come?
Yes, they have to.
Because, I mean, if I was the cops, I'd be like, okay, how do you know?
Well, there's a toe. There's a foot.
But it could, I don't know.
I would. I'd be like, I can't get, there's no way I could get too close. Imagine how traumatizing that must be.
Oh my gosh, that's so crazy to me. Like, just to be like, I'm going to go fishing today. I'm excited.
And then you just stumble upon the body.
And then all of a sudden, there's a whole ass body just laying there dead.
Yeah. Ooh, I can't.
I know.
I
mean, it's not that I, like, me and you are not we don't mind gory stuff, but that's another level.
I mean, no, it's one thing to talk about it, but once you actually see it, like,
it's one thing to watch it on TV or whatever, but like we're talking about like a whole human person. Like, I don't know what I would do. I've never had that happen besides, when you go to a funeral or something, but not even then, but like whenever you like, that's
and obviously crazy. If you find somebody that, you just stumble upon a body, alguien les hizo algo. That's why they're there.
What if they're still there?
Exactly.
Like, I don't know. My mind would be racing. That's so scary.
Now, the body was covered in bruises from head to toe. And she had lacerations on her face, on her upper body, on her stomach, just all over the place. And it looked like right off the bat, you could tell that it was overkill. When her autopsy was conducted, the pathologist or medical examiner, Dr. Anthony Clark, who later testifies in court, or testifies to the injuries in court, noted that her injuries were so severe that those were type of injuries that you saw in car crashes.
Wow.
Yeah. As I mentioned, she had bruises and lacerations, which were caused by multiple blows to the face with something hard.
Oh, wow.
She had injuries inside her mouth from where her lips were being smacked against her teeth. She had defense wounds on her arms or on her hands because she was trying to, I guess, protect her face.
I don't know if you mentioned, was she wearing clothes?
I'm not sure. I want to say yes, but
okay.
Yeah. Also, the ribs on her left side were broken, and about 5 or 4 were broken on the right side. The membrane that attaches the colon to the walls of the abdomen was torn in half.
Wow. So it's like a truck run over.
Pretty much. That's what he says, like a car accident, which caused extensive hemorrhaging, which...
Is that what she died from?
Yeah, the hemorrhaging was caused by multiple blows to the abdomen.
What in the world? Like, did they run her over or something?
And just like a slight trigger warning, the body also had a laceration and hemorrhaging below the skin of her feminine body parts that were consistent with, quote, something inserted there and too large.
Wow.
Yeah. So the cause of death was blunt force to the head and chest and abdominal trauma because they were all happening at the same time. So all that trauma was just overlapping.
It's like something ran her over, like straight up. That is the craziest thing ever.
What Dr. Clark wasn't sure was if a weapon had been used. He initially thought that it was either hands and feet. that were used to hit her, but later stated at trial that it could also have been caused by some sort of blunt instrument.
Okay. So meaning like she was being stepped on and stuff?
Or
like
hit,
feet
like
or hit
being
or like,
hit,
being hit. Okay. But with something in their hand or no, they didn't know.
I mean, because if you punch somebody, it could be hard enough, to like cause damage if it's somebody that's stronger than you or like a man or something, or it could have been both. You never know. It could have
been both, yeah. Or maybe multiple people too,
So obviously it was brutal. Like, I can imagine.
It sounds brutal.
Initially, the body was listed as a Jane Doe, but not very long after, the very next day, it was identified as 31-year-old Aileen Seiden.
That's crazy.
Now, that was...
How far... I have a question. How far is Miami from...
We'll get to why she was where she was.
What is the name of the place?
Apalachicola.
Oh, I was going to say Pensacola. No, that's different kind of Florida.
Yes. Yeah. So they found the body, and the very next day, the lead detective in Eileen's case, Lieutenant Jones, who was also called to where the body was found, got dispatched to Sportsman's Lodge Motel. The police had received a phone call from staff informing them that there was blood in a room, number 15, which they found when they went to do the cleaning. So cuando Lieutenant Jones made it to the motel, the furniture in the room had been turned over. And as he walked further into the room, he noticed that the sheets were missing from one of the beds. And that the one that was, because there was 2 beds in the room. And the one that was closest to the wall, esa cama tenía, o el colchón estaba lleno de pura sangre. And in the restroom, the shower curtain was missing.
Like I just randomly thought like they were just like, oh, let's just leave this here. Come on, they're not going to notice. Like you're just gonna
nobody's gonna notice this red stain.
This red stain. They're gonna think it's ketchup.
Yeah.
Like no, dude. What the fuck? That's crazy.
And in the air, Lieutenant Jones could also smell the scent of vinegar, which let them know that
they try to clean.
They try to clean the scene, right? As luminol was used, there were remnants of blood in el cuarto.
If there's something I love in this world is luminol. I don't know why. I've never seen luminol like straight up in my whole life. I've never looked at it, but to me, luminol is the coolest fucking thing ever. Like this shit turns blue, like a light. That's crazy.
También, when they used it in the restroom, the majority of the restroom lit up.
Yeah, I can just imagine.
And which led them to determine that a vicious attack had happened in the bathroom. On the shower curtain rod, there was a palm print, y sangre, found on it. And it was believed that the rod might have been a possible weapon used with whatever happened in the bathroom.
So they just put it back?
Ay, se me hace que ahí andaba tirado nomás.
Oh, yo pensé que estaba colgado como like, let me just put it back.
Sin cortina.
Sin cortina, like, let me just put it back. That's crazy.
Speaking of cortina, real sidetrack, whenever we were in Idaho, we're going through, the mountain and the houses, nobody had fucking curtains on their windows.
I have made this point to Estela and my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law that for some reason I don't know if it's the new houses, what it is, but everywhere that I see.
But they do that a lot in the movies too.
Yeah.
I'm like, ¿por qué no tienen
putas cortinas? And
like,
dude,
there's no blinds y no hay cortinas.
Dude, we were in the middle of fucking nowhere. And I'm like, we're standing here and I can see what you're watching on TV.
And I could see, we were like, oh, they have so and so many Christmas trees up. Oh, look, they have some zebra print stuff on the wall.
No. Está bien que
there's people in this room. There's people in that room.
Somebody was washing dishes.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if that's a thing. But I seen it a lot more, like, I guess in newer houses than maybe because, I don't know.
Because the houses that we were passing by, they weren't all new tampoco.
No, I don't know. But
anyway, it was just like we just thought it was. I'm like, ¿por qué la gente no tiene cortinas en sus ventanas?
That's some wild shit. But ¿sabes qué? I don't know if
maybe
it's just
because they were in the middle of nowhere.
Pero dude, that's when bro. How many Michael Myers? At least 15.
That's in Haddonfield, Illinois, not in fucking Hayden, Idaho.
I don't care. It starts with an I. It could happen. No. But entonces, do you think that it's just a safe area, bro? We didn't see one cop.
No, we did not see not one police officer. So maybe it is. I don't know.
Not one police officer.
It's such a small town anyway, so.
I mean, literally it was so, like you were at one light, at the next light you were in another town. That's how small the town was. Pero I'm like still, I mean, se te mete un bear. I don't know. My sister-in-law was like, córrele, se nos va a meter Bigfoot. I'm like, you are so stupid.
Well, a lot of their stickers had like a
Bigfoot.
A Bigfoot, yeah. But anyways, back to the case. Now, Lieutenant Jones had been at two crime scenes, the one before where the body was found and now at the crime scene here at the motel. And he was quickly able to put together that they must have been connected because this kind of shit didn't happen there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when Aileen was identified, her sister Francesca was
Oh my God, do you imagine?
notified.
Francesca, like
In LA.
in LA, first of
su
all.
hermana.
Second of all, su hermana, que she'd been taking care of her since she was what?
9:14. I mean,
Well, her mom died first.
At 9. And then they
so
had
her
their dad.
Like, okay, I'm not trying to be
But
mean
still
to dads.
14.
But still, you know, she
But she
needed
was really
her
close.
mom.
But she was really close to her dad.
Yeah. So let's say cuando se murió su papá. You know,
She was 14. She was a little girl.
She was a little girl.
Todavía.
That's when you need your parents the most and your mom because you start going through puberty, todo la chingaderas. So then guess what? She must have been devastated. You imagine she already lost her mom and her dad. Now
And
her
then Francesca
sister?
lost both her parents and now has to take care of her little sister. I mean,
It's
a lot.
crazy.
So, like I said, Francesca was notified of what happened and she was able to provide information about what might have happened to her sister. And information gathered from motel employees, they also began to paint a picture of the events that might have transpired.
Mm-hmm.
Investigators learned that Aileen was not in Apalachicola alone. She was there with Zach Abell and a woman named Christina Araujo, with whom she was sharing the room with that night at the motel. So we're going to backtrack and to learn how all three of them got to Apalachicola. So Mike Picovet, a friend of Zach's, became a key witness in the case, and he detailed how things came to be. Mm-hmm. So Mike Picovet met Zach Abell 7 years prior at a bar called Duffy's. And
Ooh, like The Simpsons.
Zach, who was very extroverted, went up to Mike and told him that he liked his shirt. And Mike was just like, okay, whatever.
That's me. I tell everybody I liked her shirt.
At the time, Zach was dating Christina and had been doing so for about 4 years. Mike also met her that night and stated that she would boast about her dad, who was a very higher up in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office department, and that if they ever got into any trouble, he could take care of it for her.
That was something they were talking about, and they had
she was showing off that.
Oh, wow.
She would just, she just offered up that information that her dad was a colonel in the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Department, and any of her troubles he could make go away. Es lo que ella presumía.
That's kind of random ass shit.
They became friends and would hang out, and they just would party a lot, and they would just drink a lot. And he goes on to say that Zach and Christina were very heavy drinkers. And their relationship dynamic, according to Mike, it seemed that Christina was the one with the upper hand. Not only was she 8 years older than Zach, but they also were business partners. They, I believed, owned a used car lot, and she was very controlling, and Zach just followed her lead pretty much.
He basically was like, I don't want problems. I'm just gonna, whatever. That's fine.
Mike also stated that Zach tried to break up and leave Christina multiple times, but he just couldn't shake her or didn't know how. She'd usually threaten him when she was drunk that she could make him disappear.
What?
So maybe that was part of the reason why he was fucking scared of her or scared to leave her, or maybe he couldn't leave her. Le tenía miedo, quién sabe.
Pero a lot of the times you say that bullshit, pero you no quiere decir que de veras lo vas a matar.
No, pero pues de seguro she's like, yeah, my dad's going to help me cover it up or some shit,
Girl, no.
They had a toxic relationship.
If they had, yeah. That's what I was about to say.
No,
like,
para decirte pues. So sometime in 2016, Zach stopped by Mike's boat because they kind of sometimes refer to him as Captain Mike. So I don't know where he was.
If you have a boat, you're fucking captain, bitch.
Maybe he has I'm sure he has a boating license. Y toda la madre.
Sí, porque si tú tienes un barco, you're the fucking captain of that boat.
Yeah.
I don't care. It could be a fucking toy boat, but you are the captain.
So like I just said, Zach showed up to Mike's boat with a woman who was not Christina.
Okay.
It was Aileen.
Okay.
According to Ali, again, que era la really good friend de Aileen, she and Zach began to secretly date.
Oh, shit.
Even though he was still technically in a relationship with Christina.
But he wasn't that scared of her, pues, porque si tenía tanto miedo, entonces no debería haciendo mamadas.
Pero he would tell Aileen que he was going to leave Christina.
They all say that.
Exactly. Pero she believed it because she just loved him so much,
Okay.
Now, in 2017, things began to take a left for Aileen. She lost her job unexpectedly.
Oh.
And since she needed one immediately, se metió a trabajar at Christina and Zach's used car lot.
Oh, shit. No. Why?
Now, during this time, Aileen was, kept on pressuring Zach que ya le cortara a Christina once and for all. And at some point, Zach was like, okay, I'm going to do it for reals. So, él le dijo a Christina that, it was over, that he was ending it with her.
I already tell this not going to be good.
And I guess I'm assuming que le dijo that he had found somebody else or that he was moving on with somebody else. Now, I guess not wanting to lose him, Christina suggested that all three of them should be in a relationship.
Did she mean that, or she was just saying that para que le dijeran quién era?
No, she meant it.
Oh.
A throuple. Throuple? A throuple, that's what they're called, right? A throuple. According to Aileen was against it. She was like, fuck no, I'm not doing that. So for like a couple of weeks, things were at a standstill. I'm not sure if during this time any of them were talking. Yo no sé si Zach was trying to convince Aileen to join the throuple, and quién sabe. Pero eventually, Aileen had a change of mind.
What?
Aileen, Zach, and Christina officially became a throuple. And things did not go well.
I was about to say, like, okay, hold on. I don't know. We don't know much about Aileen. Like, we don't know her background. We don't know if she was, I don't know. I don't know anything about her. But still, like, she was okay with being in a three.
I mean, some people are into that.
Yeah. And dude, I promise you it's okay. But I just, like I said, it's so weird to me because, like, out of the nothing, she was so against it. Y luego de repente, okay, that's fine.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean?
Maybe she just wanted to be with Zach. I don't know if maybe, but I'm telling you, like, during that time where things were at a standstill before she agreed to it, I don't know what was going on. I don't know if he was trying to convince her. Quién sabe? Or maybe she was like, let me try it out. You never know. I might like it. Quién sabe? I don't know.
We don't know.
You're right.
You're right.
Now, like I just said, they made the relationship official as a throuple, and things did not go well. The dynamic just didn't work, which, but somebody with Christina, I'm sure. There was always someone who was jealous and felt left out. And according to Mike, the partying and the heavy drinking that they partook in made things way messier than they already were.
I mean, and once again, I respect everybody's decision or whatever, but have you ever, has there ever been a couple that you can say, oh man, you've been with two women or two men and it's been cool? Like every time it's somebody, because we're humans, you're going to have that feeling of being jealous,
I've heard of people that...
they can have like a threesome, like have an actual sexual relationship, but like go on and have
sister wives?
Yeah, okay. Have you seen sister wives lately?
No, but the other ones...
They've divorced and they hate each other.
I know, but it's just the two of them. All the other ones are still together.
No, you mean just them in particular? Like those people that were on TV?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. But what I'm saying is, I just feel like...
I don't know that they have ever been into this. I don't know. We don't know if that's something that they were ever interested in. I guess it was just one of those... Or maybe they just wanted to try it and see. Obviously, they tried to make it work.
Yeah, they tried, yeah. But obviously, it did not work.
Right. Aileen and Christina would get into fights, like fist fights.
What the fuck?
And that often left one of them or both of them with black eyes. Y para esconder los black eyes, well, they would just wear like big ass oversized sunglasses. Francesca sabía también what Aileen was doing and wanted her out of the relationship.
Yeah.
And she believed that it was Christina, the one that would inflict more violence to Aileen, her sister. Mm-hmm. But according to Allie, it was Zach who was the main aggressor in the throuple.
So he would be both of them? Okay.
Aileen would usually contact her because they were in contact often and tell her that Zach had hurt her again and that she'd rush. Cuando Aileen le hablaba, she would rush over and she would see her with her injuries y le tomaba fotos because she wanted to keep a record, and that she would beg her to report it to the police, but she just refused because, again, I don't know how intimidating or Christina was, but apparently le tenía miedo because of her dad. Because her dad was in,
Once again, the same thing.
He was a colonel.
But I mean, what were they doing bad that she was concerned with, you know?
And maybe they were doing drugs.
Maybe.
You know?
Yeah, uh-huh.
At one point, things got so bad that Allie had to take Aileen to the ER.
Damn.
And there, the staff pushed her to make a report, but she wouldn't tell them where her injuries came from. So Allie pleaded with her to get out of the relationship before somebody ended up dead. I mean, de por sí ya se andan tranqueando a cada rato. Now you're ending up at an ER. Like,
That's crazy.
What's the next step?
What's the next thing
Somebody's
that happens?
gonna die.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it took her by complete surprise when Aileen decided to move in with Zach and Christina.
Oh, shit. That's crazy.
In 2018, despite the violence in the relationship.
So how long had they been together before they moved in?
As a throuple?
Yeah.
I don't know. Now, they were working and living together. Remember, they all worked at the car lot. According to Allie, because Aileen was financially depending on the relationship, because she had nowhere else to go, she hoped to make it work one last time. So it was like a trial run for her. She's like, okay, we're going to try to make it work, at least on my end this time. If not, I'm out of here, right? And it took a couple of weeks for her to realize that it was not going to work and that she needed to get out of there. She was making those plans, but she had to put them on hold due to a violent fight between Zach and Christina on April 7th of 2018. Aileen called Allie from Zach's phone and told her, what had taken place. Y dijo that her and Zach she was trying to get him out of the apartment or just remove him from the situation. So they were just going to go to like a coffee shop or algo así, like just real quick. Next thing Allie knows, Christina's calling her through like a social media app. You know how sometimes you can call through like, I guess, Facebook Messenger or no sé qué madre?
Yeah, or like, yeah.
Yeah, so le entró una llamada de Christina a Allie. She was just royally pissed, talking major shit, threatening to report the Honda that Zach was driving and as stolen so they wouldn't leave her behind. So they can be like, hey, my car was stolen. Go arrest these people para que los pudieran encontrar.
Okay. So, say that again. So then Christina calls Allie, la amiga de BFF, and says, hey, talking shit. I'm going to report them this and this and that.
Yeah, they stole my
car. And then, but did she report them or no?
So Allie le habló a Aileen and told her what Christina was planning to do. And instead of them returning home, they took off to Georgia.
Oh, Lord. Why? I don't understand.
Allie didn't understand.
Oh, my God.
And she just didn't understand what Aileen was thinking. And not only because, dude, like, what are you doing? But she didn't have a phone. Her phone was broken. She didn't have a wallet. She didn't have any of her possessions with her. Nothing.
She was just on like me, on a bagel and a Lani, and that's
Con la pura licencia de Dios.
Con la pura licencia de Dios, yeah.
Aileen told Allie that they were going on a road trip and that it was a good thing. I don't know. They just wanted it to be like, if we can fucking leave Christina behind, then we'll be good. I don't know if that's how she saw it at the time. Quien sabe.
It just sounds like this is like they're very toxic. Yeah. So she was convinced. She had to convince herself that was what she wanted because, wow, that's crazy.
And especially, I'm sure when you're in that, it's not easy to be.
You can't just get up and go. Yeah, it doesn't work. That way.
It sounds easy to say, but it's very difficult to do. Especially when you've been in it for a while, like.
And then you start thinking, what are people going to say? What are people going to think about me? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't have any money. Who's going to va a ayudar?
Yeah,
I'm going to lose my job.
Yeah. No.
Now, Christina began texting Zach's phone, stating that her dad was going to call him. How they both deserved each other. She also texted them, quote, "You fucked me over and now I'm fucking you over."
Did she steal something did they steal something from her besides the car that he was driving?
No, she was just
talking shit.
And 150 texts over the next 24 hours.
Son of a bitch.
And they all went unanswered. And I'm sure en lo que menos le contestaban, más coraje le daba la güey.
I wonder, like, to send 150 texts, like, I know I've sent a lot of memes and shit, but I don't think I've ever sent 150 memes.
Like, are you just like, bitch, fuck you,
that's what I'm saying.
Fuck you, I hate you, yeah, or something. Yeah, my dad's gonna call you.
Or
me los vas a pagar.
Or like a whole ass you motherfucker,
like a paragraph,
and then again another paragraph. Like, that's a lot of words.
It is, yeah.
Yeah.
So about 48 hours later, I'm not sure if anyone knows why, but Zach and Aileen were now on their way to Texas.
Oh, they were coming over here to the Lone Star State?
And Christina, who hadn't heard a peep from them, switched her tactic.
Okay. She's going to be nice.
Maybe, quién sabe, maybe it was like what's that saying? You catch more bees with honey than with vinegar, or quién sabe. So
The vinegar está way.
maybe it was the fact that she was like, oh no, these, for real, they're leaving me my ass behind and se van a ir solos, quién sabe. I don't know if that's what she thought, but.
You think she was really in love with him, or was she just like
she was
obsessed?
I think maybe, yeah, both. Maybe she thought she was in love with him.
Maybe,
They had been together for a while.
Yeah.
So instead of cursing them out y rayándoles la madre and threatening them, she texted Zach's phone and said, quote, if you want to come back home, come back.
Hell no.
You know, you never have to question my love.
Hell no. I'd be like,
And for whatever reason,
don't tell me they believed her.
Zach took it upon himself to invite Christina to Dallas, which is where they were. And she flew out there to meet them.
Oh my God.
All three of them were together again.
Were they high or something? Like, I don't understand.
And the same problems that had plagued the relationship resurfaced.
Wow.
Throughout this road trip, if you want to call it that, Aileen...
andaban dando vueltas in Georgia and shit.
Yeah, Aileen was communicating with Allie and her sister through Zach's phone. And in one call to Allie, she told her that things were getting bad and that she didn't know what to do. Remember, she doesn't have a wallet. She doesn't have ID. She doesn't have a phone. I'm sure she doesn't have any money. She's in Dallas, in Texas. You're from Florida. Now, 10 days into this road trip, the throuple...
No, because now they're back together.
Yes.
Okay.
They were making they were making their way back to Florida. Pues, yeah, they were in Texas. Yeah, they were driving back.
They're like, we got to go home.
And they stopped in New Orleans. Francesca finally got a call from Aileen, and who she hadn't talked to in like a couple of days now, and she was kind of worried. So much like she had told Allie, Aileen also told Francesca that things were getting really, really bad, and that she believed that Zach and Christina were going to kill her.
Oh my gosh.
She told her, so she was like, I told Irene, she's like, I told her to run. I told her to go to the nearest gas station or something, you know, just hang up.
Just stay away.
Just go.
Just stay away. Like, go.
But she said that Aileen, I'm sorry, was just like, I'm terrified. She was like, I'm so scared. And I think she was so scared that it paralyzed her. You know how sometimes you just freeze up?
Yeah.
And she told Francesca that she couldn't run away and that she wouldn't do it. And before Francesca could get more information out of her.
She probably also thought, sorry, to interrupt you. She probably also thought, it doesn't matter where I go, they're going to find me.
A la mejor, yeah.
Yeah.
And before Francesca was able to get more information out of her, like an address. So, because she was like, if I was able to get more information out of her, I would have called myself the police and told them where to find her. Pero antes de que le sacara la información, Aileen was like, I have to go. Y colgó. So she hung up. Days after that, they obviously left New Orleans and they were on their way to Panama City, Florida. But los güeyes, and by güeyes, I'm talking about Zach and Christina. They're the güeyes, you know? They missed the exit.
Uh-huh.
And they ended up in Apalachicola, Florida instead. On April 21st, the three of them were caught on surveillance at a popular restaurant called the Red Pirate in Franklin County. There, comieron, played mini golf.
What?
They were drinking, they partied. And it was a local that actually recommended that they stay at the Sportsman's Lodge Motel. So that's why they ended up there. And they ended up reserving the last room available, which was room 15. Now, they were just supposed to spend the night. They were supposed to hit the road again the following day. But they decided to spend another day there to party.
Okay.
And then they were going to hit the road the day after that. So that morning, they made their way to a liquor store and they were caught on camera again. They purchased the largest bottles of vodka and Fireball.
Oh, Fireball's so nasty.
And then they returned back to the motel room.
And there's people that actually enjoy the taste of Fireball.
I can't remember the last time I had Fireball. I think I was in college.
No, when did I have Fireball? Not too long ago. I don't know
New
where.
Year's or something.
Probably.
Now, Aileen talked to Allie that day, and this time around, Aileen told Allie, she was like, I need to get the fuck out of here. I need to leave. Zach has a really scary look in his eyes, and it was different than ever before, and she's like, I need to go. The two women came up with a plan for Aileen to escape. So that plan was that Aileen would get on a bus at their next destination. So I guess their next stop was supposed to be Tampa. Mm-hmm. So Allie le compró un boleto for a Greyhound bus. So they were like, okay, once you guys make it to Tampa, de ahí you book it, get your ass to the bus station. Ali le compró el boleto. And then from Tampa, you'll come back to Miami and I will pick you up. So that was the plan.
Her only thing she needed to do was get away from them to get to the bus stop.
Yeah, they needed to ride together to Tampa. She was like, because remember, they were on their way to, what did it say, Fort Lauderdale?
No, they were on their way to Panama City.
Oh, yeah, my bad. They were on their way to Panama City. So, I guess before that, I don't know if they were going to, but they were supposed to stop at Tampa as some sort of the way. So she was like, okay, cool. Once you get to Tampa, here's the bus ticket's going to be waiting for you. And then you go from there. That was the last time Ali talked to Aileen.
Oh, man. Imagine.
And Aileen never made it to Tampa.
Oh, my God.
On the night of the 23rd, so this was like a day later, right? Mike, he's the one that lived in Fort Lauderdale. I think that's why I say Fort Lauderdale earlier. Received a knock on his door. When he opened it, it was Zach and Christina. And he said that he quickly asked, where's Aileen?
Because he knew.
And Christina told him that she had ran away. And he called bullshit. He's like, where is Aileen? He asked again. And according to Mike, Zach got choked up and stated that she was dead.
Wow.
Now, Mike let them into his house.
And he still let them in his house? I would have left them outside.
And when Christina was not around, Zach told Mike that he was sleeping. And when he woke up, Aileen was dead lying next to him. And Christina had killed her. That he tried to give her CPR and he wanted to call 911, but Christina told him que no.
I don't know how I feel about that.
He said that according to him, in some twisted way, he followed Christina's command because he felt that he needed to protect her for what she had done. So whatever,
Oh my God, these people are out of it.
Now, Mike, he said that to have like a secure outcome of the situation that was at hand, he decided to make his move once Zach and Christina fell asleep. So he decided to reach out to Christina's dad. See, he found his full name, which was Colonel Tony Araujo. So he looked him up online, found his...
Araujo? Is he Hispanic?
Araujo. I don't know. He found him online, found his phone number, and he called Colonel and told him that he needed to talk to him about his daughter, Christina. So Mike dice, he told me to meet him at a gas station, which I thought was weird. There, at the gas station, when they met up, Mike told the colonel that his daughter, Christina, had killed someone.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And
he spilled the beans, girl.
Hell yeah. He was like, hey, I'm going to tell somebody because that shit ain't about to stay in my house.
No, I was about to say, that shit ain't staying on me. Hell yeah.
And that the colonel told Mike que le dijo, I'm a cub, right? Y que Mike le dijo, yes, sir, I do. And that he said, okay. He said que the colonel took him to the sheriff's office so he could give a formal statement, and that he did things by the book and had other people interview him, not him himself. So he removed himself from the situation. Later that day, Mike was shown a photo of the body that had been found, a couple of days before, and he identified her as Aileen Seiden. Because he knew her too, So
because that's why he asked for her.
Yeah. He knew the mess that had been going on between the three, So afterward, the police made their way to Mike's house, where they caught Zach and Christina as they were about to leave.
Oh, where are you going, sweet pea?
Yeah. Huh? Oh, now you got your little catnap.
Now you know where you're going. You ain't gonna miss the exit this time, huh?
They were arrested and were taken into custody, where they were later charged with first-degree murder.
As they should.
Now, due to many delays and the Panera Bread, it would be 6 years before there would be a trial for the murder of Aileen.
Oh, my God.
And it would only be one of them at trial.
Why?
In 2023, Christina Araujo took a plea deal for a lesser charge of second-degree murder.
Of course she did.
She admitted her involvement, but maintained that she wasn't the one that killed Aileen. She also became the prosecution's star witness because she was going to testify against Zach. Zach pleaded not guilty to the first-degree murder charge, and his trial began in January 2024.
It just happened.
Yeah.
About a year ago.
Prosecutor Jared Patterson believed that Zach was the one responsible for Aileen's murder, and that Christina's testimony of the events that took place that night would prove it to the jury along with other evidence. When she was on the stand, Christina testified that she, Zach, and Aileen were relaxing on the couch in the motel on April 22nd after a heavy day of drinking. To that, she also added that when Zach drank, he became like a very violent person. And he said that they were just sitting on the couch and Aileen just posed like a simple question, which set Zach off. She said that, like I just said, they were just sitting there and that out of nowhere, Aileen just said, "Hey, Christina, guess what?" And when she said that Zach got up and got in her face and began to hit her.
Wow.
And yelling at her that she was always starting problems. Christina then joined in.
Oh.
And hitting Aileen and demanded to know what she was going to say. When she didn't get an answer, maybe because you were fucking hitting her.
Can
both
she
of
talk?
y'all.
Can
y'all
she
leave her
talk?
alone? So when she didn't get an answer from Aileen, she became frustrated and she said que she se salió pa fuera. After a few minutes, she returned back to the room and claimed to find Zach and Aileen in the bathroom where he was poking her with something white in his hand. According to Dr. Clark, during her autopsy, Aileen had also small circular bruising on her body that could have been consistent with the end of a shower rod. The same shower rod that was found with the palm print, which later determined to belong to Zach. So the attack on Aileen continued, and they moved it over to the bed, where, according to Christina, Zach then grabbed his wooden walking stick. I guess he used a walking stick. I had no idea.
Now he's a pimp.
And then he began to beat her with the wooden stick. He'd hit her on the back with it so hard that the stick broke.
Wow.
And then those broken pieces were later found at the crime scene. At the time, they just didn't know if it actually had anything to do with what had happened.
Yeah.
The other piece that was still intact was later found in Zach's car, which after testing was determined to have Aileen's DNA on it.
Oh, he just took the rest of it with him?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Now, trigger warning here for sexual assault. Christina said that after he began beating her with the wooden stick, she then watched Zach sexually assault her with it.
Oh, my God.
That she watched in horror, and I guess she kind of froze up. But when she came to, then that's when she put herself in, between Aileen and Zach. And that's when Zach backed off. And then that's when the attack stopped. Mm-hmm. Christina claimed that at that time, Aileen was still alive. Y que se acostaron, they went to sleep.
What? Bitch, there's no way.
Yeah. I don't know if they were all just drunk or I have no idea, to be honest.
Did they test her blood? Was there high levels of alcohol, high levels of something?
They said that there, sometimes depending on when you have passed away, there's certain chemicals that your body releases that could make it seem that your blood levels are either higher, but that doesn't mean that you were drunk. You know what I mean?
No, but I'm just saying, was there any drugs in their system?
There wasn't any drug in her system, in Aileen's. It was when they woke up the next morning that she and Zach realized that Aileen was dead.
She was probably already dead, you stupid bitch.
She only helped in the cover-up because she was scared of Zach. Remember, this is what Christina's testifying.
Well, if you think about it, Allie, or what was her name? Her friend said that
she thought that porque su friend Allie and Aileen would talk often on the phone.
Yeah. Pero acuérdate que at one point le decía que it was Zach the one que le pegaba.
Yeah.
So that he would just beat her and take pictures of her. Y era Zach. It wasn't Christina.
Yeah. Now, Zach's defense attorney, Alex Morris, his defense was to place the blame on Christina.
Yeah, of course.
Remember earlier when Mike waited until Zach and Christina fell asleep before he talked to her dad? Well, when they fell asleep, Mike took a picture of them on the couch. And in it, you can see that Christina has injuries to her feet and hands, which, according to him, that meant that she was the attacker. But to that, remember how Dr. Clark had noted initially that Aileen's death was caused by blunt force with feet and hands? Mm-hmm. Which it could have been that, but she had already admitted to hitting her too, right? She had
said that she did hit her.
Yeah. So, quién sabe, to be honest.
Oh. Well, they didn't have a very good defense lawyer. I'm just saying.
The motive was that Christina was enraged since the couple had taken off without her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. He presented as evidence the text that she was sending them as proof. She was threatening to harm both of them and had been doing so since the very beginning. One of the texts read, quote, "You come near me, ho, I will kill you."
Oh, shit. But I say that to you all the time.
Yeah.
I probably shouldn't be texting you that shit.
But then the more I come near you, you know?
Yeah.
According to Morris, after Christina killed Aileen, she cleaned up the crime scene with the vinegar that Jones was able to smell when they made it to the crime scene.
Where'd they get vinegar from?
Girl, I don't know.
They just have vinegar at the fucking hotel room?
I don't know. Maybe you asked the front desk, bitch.
Hi there. My name. I'm in room 15. Do you think I can borrow some vinegar? Like, what the fuck?
And that the fact that Zach's palm print was on the shower curtain rod ended up there because he was helping Christina dispose of the curtain, you know, because the curtain was missing. And he was helping her with the cleanup. And she was just instructing him what to do, you know? He was just following her lead.
Oh, okay.
She was the one giving him the directions and used her father's connections to the sheriff's department to keep Zach in line and to get him to do what she wanted. After the murder, there was another picture of the couple where they were in the Honda and Christina was driving. So that showed, according to him, that she was the one in control.
Or maybe he made her drive?
But toda fucked up from her hands?
I don't know.
I
mean, if she was scared of him, then yeah, I would have fucking driven if he's like, you're going to drive. Okay. You know?
So Zach didn't testify. In his closing argument, Morris reminded the jury that Zach never wanted to kill Aileen. Remember, he wanted to date her. He wanted to leave Christina, and he had tried to leave Christina multiple times. Y nada más no podía porque le tenía miedo. Now, Patterson, in his closing argument, stated that Christina had already admitted to her involvement in what happened to Aileen, and now that it was Zach's turn to be held accountable. Now, when the jury deliberated, initially there were 10 in favor of a guilty verdict for first-degree premeditated murder and 2 holdouts. But after 5 hours, after 5 hours of deliberation, the jury reached a unanimous decision. Zach was found guilty of second-degree murder. Later, the jury's foreman, he stated that in the end, they couldn't decide if Zach actually intended to kill Aileen. Remember, they would beat each other up all the time, right?
Maybe he took it too far.
Right.
With the stick and then beating her with the stick?
I'm sorry. I can't, eso me da...
Like,
I can't think about that.
I know. I'm sorry, but that's what happened.
And that's why they, found him guilty instead of the lesser charge, second-degree murder. During his sentencing, Zach finally spoke, and he went on to say that he had actually proposed to Aileen with the ring pop, and that she had said yes, and that they wanted to leave Christina behind, and that he never wanted her to die.
Wow.
Now,
a ring pop sounds really good right now.
In the sentencing, Judge Allman stated that...
Not almond, like almond joy?
No, A-L-L.
Oh, I thought you said almond, like
all man.
Oh, I thought you said like almendra.
No, like all and then man.
Like todos los hombres.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pero todo el hombre, porque it's M-A-N, not
M-E-N.
Okay.
Got you. Dick.
Yes. Judge Allman stated that during his 40 years in the justice system, he had rarely seen injuries like Aileen's. He sentenced Zach to life in prison.
As he should.
No parole, and told him that he wished he could impose a harsher punishment.
I mean, he couldn't. No, he couldn't. No.
Now, during Christina's sentencing, her dad, the colonel, spoke, and he said that he never used any of his influence to help his daughter. And he said that after the murder took place, that he told her that, that she was going to own up to what she did and accept responsibility, and whatever sentence was imposed on her was going to be fine. Because when they made her plea deal, the length of time of what her sentence would be if she did take the plea deal was never discussed. So she could still take the plea deal, and she could still be sentenced to life in prison. She took that chance. So, she also spoke during the sentencing and expressed her remorse, and she was sentenced to 25 years. She is scheduled to be released in 2043 at the age of 63. And that is the tragic case.
Very tragic.
Of Aileen Seiden.
Not only tragic, but unnecessary. Like...
And it's I know it's easy for people when you're like in a toxic relationship or an abusive relationship. Yeah. It's so easy for people to be like, well, nomás salte, nomás déjalo.
You can't.
You can't do that. It's not that easy.
it's like a whole mental game that
Yeah.
that these people, not only women but also men.
And she was so dependent on the relationship.
Yes.
They worked together, like they lived together, and she felt like she had nowhere else to go. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's so sad that that had to happen to her being so young, and that, especially like what her sister has had to go through, and then now bury
Both of them. Now she buried her whole family.
Her whole family. She's literally by herself. And I mean, not that's gonna, but unnecessary. I mean, she was trying to get away.
Pinche viejo, if she just never would have reconnected with Zach's bitch ass.
Yeah. But everything, I don't know. Everything's just, I don't know why it plays out like that, but let us know what you think about this one. This one was kind of heavy, and thank you for bringing that to us, sister.
You're welcome.
If you'd like to follow us on Instagram, if you would like to follow us on Instagram, you can at
Cafecito and Crime Pod. And if you would like to leave us a message, send us a review. Send us a message, leave us a review, download our episodes, and rate us. We would really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, and I hope that everyone has a wonderful rest of your week, day, month, anything it is. We'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.